The Dawson Creek Adult Soccer League is still taking registration.
Registration until the 30th of June. The only caveat is that the league will either place them directly, or if they know what team they want to play on specifically, they can join that team. A lot of teams will recruit to fill their roster right now and grab extra people, and those people just sign up with those teams that they want to play with. But if anyone wants to join and they don't know anybody or they don't know a team, that's not a big deal at all, because they just have to contact the league and then the league will place them. Because we as the league have an idea of roster sizes, and we just put them on teams with low roster sizes. Well, all they have to do is go on the website, which is at www.dcasl.ca, and there's registration forms there. And there's a link for emails, and they just contact the league via email. And the email address is actually info@dcasl.ca.
Another local sports organization is looking to increase its roster. The Mile Zero Mercy Roller Derby Club held their open house last week at the Encana Events Center. For most roller derby squads, this season has just begun and will stretch throughout the summer. However, the Mile Zero girls still have some things to iron out before they lace up the skates for a bout of their own.
The chances are pretty good that we'll be having some things happen in early fall, but the chances are extremely good that we're going to have another mixed massacre in October, November. We are trying to figure out dates with the Prince George Skate Fest that happens. It happens every year, and they haven't decided on a date yet, so we want to make sure that those ladies and everybody who's going to that one are still going to come to our event, so we don't want to take a date away or make it too close to theirs. So we just have to make sure that that's all going to work, and that happens in the fall. A lot of recruitment happens in the fall, so Skate Fest and Mixed Massacre are really, really fantastic events to happen in the fall, because you have new people coming out, people who get benchmarked, they've passed the minimum skills, and they get to have a bout right away.
Anyone interested in getting involved with the Mile Zero Mercy are encouraged to head to a practice on Wednesday night at the Encana Events Center, or check them out on Facebook for more information. And that's a look at local sports. I'll be back in a bit with a full national update. But first, summer sports are in full swing now that the weather's warmed right up. And in tonight's Around the Piece, CJDC's Jeremy Keefe brings you a closer look at the local rugby scene.
And Stacey Robbins joins us now with the regional weather forecast.
Thanks, Andrea. First off, I want to let you know there is a rainfall warning in effect for the Peace River region. Environment Canada says to expect another 10 millimeters in our area, and the same system may bring up to 50 millimeters in other parts of the province. Taking a look around the region, 16 in Fort Nelson. They have a snowfall warning right now. Tomorrow they are expecting a 30% chance of flurries. Sun and cloud for most of the region tomorrow. 18 in Hudson's Hope, 19 in Fort St. John, 23 in Chetwynd and Dawson Creek, 15 in Tumbler Ridge, and over in Alberta, 22 in Spirit River, and 21 in Clear in Grand Prairie. Taking a look at the Fort St. John 5-day forecast tonight, rain and 9 degrees, sun and cloud for the rest of the week, 19 degrees tomorrow, 20 on Thursday, and then Friday, 18 degrees, and on Saturday, 21 degrees again with sun and cloud. That's a look at your regional weather. I'll be back later with your full weather forecast.
Welcome back. Time now for your full weather forecast with Stacey Robbins.
Thanks, Andrea. Let's take a look at what the almanac had to say about today. Sunrise, 4:39 this morning. Today's sunset, 9:16 tonight. Average temperature for this time of year, 17 degrees, and the average low is 5 degrees. And the next full moon is coming up at the end of this week. May 24th is when we'll see that. Taking a look at the highs and lows around the region for today, Dawson Creek saw a high of 6 degrees, record high of 26 degrees in 1948, a record low of -3 in 1992. In Chetwynd, the high today 4 degrees, record high of 25 in 98, and the record low of -3 in 1986. In Fort St. John, high of 3 degrees, high of 28 degrees in 1948, and a record low of -3 again in 1992. And in Fort Nelson, +2 today, the high there, record high of 27 degrees in 1948, and a record low of -3 again in 1992. Taking a look around the province for Tomorrow, 16 degrees in Fort Nelson, again with that chance of snow and flurries. There is a snowfall warning in effect there right now. 19 and sun and cloud in Fort St. John. 21 degrees in Prince George, 14 down in Vancouver, 15 in Prince Rupert, and over in Alberta, 22 degrees in Edmonton and 15 degrees in Calgary with increasing cloud. Taking a look at the Dawson Creek 5-day forecast tonight. Rain getting down to 8 degrees. Sun and cloud for the rest of the week, much like Fort St. John. 23 degrees tomorrow, 20 on Thursday, 18 on Friday, and back up to 21 degrees on Saturday. Taking a look across the country now. 22 degrees in Regina, 17 in Winnipeg, 13 in Thunder Bay. Rain in Toronto, Montreal, and Halifax. 22 degrees in Toronto, 21 in Montreal, and 9 degrees in Halifax, and 10 degrees in St. John's. That's a look at your full weather forecast. Andrea, back to you.
Thanks, Stacey. Welcome back. Stacey Robbins joins us now, and lots of excitement over the weekend in hockey.
Yeah, that's right, Andrea. Ottawa had their fans, the hometown fans, on the edge of their seats. Let's take a look at last night's action in the NHL, where Ottawa was looking for their first win in the second round series. There's Spezza itching to do his part for Ottawa, who's trailing 2-0 in the series. Scoreless till late in the second, sends Coffett up deep in their zone. Tyler Kennedy rings it off the post, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. Go to the dying seconds of the third. Ottawa has pulled the goalie for the extra attacker. Milan Mikalik threads a perfect pass to driving Daniel Alfredson. And we are knotted at one, heading to overtime. Evgeny Malkin dazzles there and nearly ends it, but Craig Anderson is there to make the save. Jason Spezza takes one off the back. He shook that one off. Second overtime sends pressing. Vaucoon stops the initial shot, but Colin Greening is there to bang in the rebound. Ottawa wins 2-1 and now trail 2-1 in the series. In the other Eastern Conference semi, Bruins hosting the Rangers, tied at 2 in the second until Johnny Boychuk's screen shot finds the back of the net. Boston leads 3-2 after 2. Just 26 seconds into the third, Brad Marchand's tip in makes it 4-2. Henrik Lundqvist not his normal self in net, allowing more than 4 games in the first time in 152 games. Boston wins 5-2 and take a 2-0 series lead on New York. The scene shifted to Hockeytown for a pivotal Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinal between the Blackhawks and Red Wings. Let's take a look at the highlights. After a scoreless first, we're going to join it in the second. Gustav Nyquist undressed Brent Seabrook and then waited long enough to beat Corey Crawford. 1-0 Wings. 31 seconds later, Patrick Eaves took the initial shot, couldn't bang in the rebound. Drew Miller on the doorstep pushed it across the line. 2-0 Detroit. Chicago gets on the board in the third, but the Wings go on to win it 3-1. Detroit leads the series 2-1 with Game 4 Thursday at the Joe. The second round action continues tonight with a pair of games. The Boston Bruins are in New York holding a 2-0 lead over the Rangers. The Blue Shirts are trying to become the first team in league history to come back from back-to-back 2-0 deficits. The late game has San Jose visiting defending Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles. The Kings own a 2-1 series lead in that series. With only one Canadian team left in the playoffs, it begs the question, is the rest of Canada going to jump on the Ottawa Senators bandwagon? CBC's Chris Glover has been trying to find out.
Go, fans, go!
Most hockey fans in Ottawa are United fans here hope to be the first Canadian team in 20 years to bring home the cup. Chris Glover, CBC News, Winnipeg.
You'll be able to catch the Sens in action right here on CJDC tomorrow night, 4:30 our time. That's it for sports. Let's take one last look at the weather. 16 degrees in Fort Nelson, again with a snowfall warning in effect. 30% chance of flurries tomorrow, 19 in Fort St. John, 23 in Chetwynd and Dawson Creek.
Thanks, Stacey. That should be a good game tomorrow.
It's going to be an exciting one.
That's all the time we do have for tonight, but please join us again tomorrow.
Have a good night.